Well, gents, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what they say, right? So I'm thinking with this crypto AI stuff, you have AI girlfriends, you've got crypto meme coins, but nobody has thought to join them together. I'm talking about a crypto coin that you can chat with, get intimate with. The first sexy crypto coin. You're stunned. You're silent. I can't.
To be honest with you, I think you can sell it. I honestly think you can sell that in this particular moment in 2025. In a few years, when things look a little bit like the beginning of the Terminator, I don't think it'll sell. But right now, you can.
I'll tell you this. Back when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Pee-wee's Playhouse with Pee Wee Herman. And I don't know if you'll recall, there was a segment it was like an animated segment about a girl named Penny. And she was a claymation girl with pennies, like pennies for eyes. And young Matt Binder had a crush on her. So, it seems like there is that attraction to money. I don't know if it was the pennies that did it for me, but there you go. It could be a winning, successful idea, Jared.
I think I've found my first customer. Welcome back to Posting Through It. I'm Jared.
Well, Michael Hayden.
And we're joined on the show today by Matt Binder, old shitpost turned Posting Through It heads. We'll remember Matt from many a great episode. We're happy to have him here.
It's great to be here.
Politics is just kind of exhausting. And one of the biggest stories of last week had to do with the tech industry. I know just enough to be dangerous about AI and crypto. Mike knows a little bit more than me, but Matt knows a hell of a lot more than both of us. So I'm happy to have Matt on the show this week. Before we get started, just want to say that since the show has come back, something that listeners can do in lieu of giving us money, we don't need your money, leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're listening to us. Let us know how we're doing. Unless you have mean things to say, then you can just send those to Mike personally. Matt, thanks for joining the show this week.
Oh, it's great to be here. And I just want to say to your listeners that if you are looking to spend your money somewhere, I will accept that money that Jared and Michael do not want. So feel free to send it my way.
So you can invest it in Trump coin, right? I that's the first thing. We sort of touched on this last week a little bit. But meme coins are everywhere, and the president has one now, which I think has sort of raised people's consciousness to it. Previously, it was the Tuah coin. The Tuah meme girl had a coin. Maybe did a rug pull, but
well, I want to interject here. Isn't Doge the original meme coin, or maybe the more, I don't know if it's the actual first one, but the most high profile early one. And now we have literally a government agency named after it, which is just embarrasses me in such a core way.
Right. Yeah. Dogecoin is considered to be the original meme coin. It was launched in late 2013. And originally it was made to just show sort of a tongue-in-cheek way of pulling the rug behind the curtain, I should say, or from behind the what crypto was, and sort of showcase what a joke it was that we could launch this token based on this silly meme, and look, it's up there being bought and sold with these serious tokens, which was every other cryptocurrency at the time. And it ended up taking off, and its two founders went in two completely different directions. One decided that they didn't like that this actually became a legitimate cryptocurrency because they didn't like the space and they got out. And the other one became an absolute hardcore crypto bro, sort of, I guess, he became the monster he sought to make fun of. And he's one of like Elon Musk's like online BFFs and biggest defenders. So it was interesting to see like even with something like Dogecoin, which is considered to be now one of the major cryptocurrencies. There was even that sort of butting heads and split between how the industry or the space was viewed by even the two people who founded it.
I remember a couple of years ago when Musk appeared on Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
And he used that opportunity to kind of spike Dogecoin, and it was really peaking then. I felt that there was something illegal going on. I was like, it's one of those situations, and there's so many of these now where you're like, isn't there a law against this? Isn't there some to have a guy who has that much influence kind of just hyping some obscure nothing? And now it seems like nothing was done about that, and it seems like everyone's become emboldened since. Is that right?
That was the peak of Dogecoin. It's never been that high ever again. It literally peaked during Elon Musk's SNL opening monologue. It hit, like, if I recall correctly, somewhere in the range of 70 cents, which is insane when you consider there were people who were able to get in on Dogecoin for like, 0.001 cents or something like that. And previously it had barely even hit 10 cents in the even like during that ramp up. It was like when that early 2021 where like crypto really started taking off in light of the meme stock craze that hit the stock market with GameStop and AMC. That whole era sort of kicked off the mainstreaming of cryptocurrency. And so you had all these people hearing about all the individuals who got in early on, Bitcoin, for example, and got rich. So people felt like Dogecoin was their shot. They could get in at pennies, 10 cents, a dime, a couple dimes. And then Elon Musk pumped it up, hit 70 some odd cents, and it's never been anywhere near that since. You look now, it barely ever gets above half that, which again, if you got in early, it's still a huge jump. But the point being that the majority of people, the retail investors, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your brother, your sister, your aunt and uncle, anyone you know in your life who wasn't some like crypto nerd who bought it back in the early 2010s, they all probably lost out because they bought it at that peak where Elon Musk pumped it up because everyone thought, this is it. It's only going to go higher from here. And like you said, yeah, I mean, nothing was ever done about that because I think, regulators' hands were tied already. I mean, there was nothing they could do. Crypto is still, we're going to see this in the years ahead with Trump's SEC. Crypto is still sort of not seen in that same way as other sort of sort of assets are. Digital assets are not seen yet as a lot of other assets are. They want to be viewed as a commodity, which has a lot less regulations around it than something like a stock or, a offering. But this is where we are. And, if you wanted that sort of regulatory look at what Elon Musk did back in 2021, and you've been opining for it ever since, I hate to tell you, it's going to just go the opposite direction over the next 4 years.
So there's so many meme coins now. It almost seems to operate the same cultural space that NFTs did for a while. I have no idea what happened to all the dudes with their monkey JPEGs, but it's like this is like the new sort of promise sold to retail investors, is like you can get in on Tuah coin, or you can get in on some random pastor's coin, or I'm curious if you have any theories as to why meme coins have become so plentiful. I mean, to the point where an incoming president is like, yeah, we're gonna do deportations and everything. And if you like how this sounds, you can go buy my meme coin, which I know nothing about, but my name is on, I suppose. Uh, you can buy it and watch it fall to the ground in value. But it's, yeah, Matt, I'm just curious if you have any theories as to why this seems to be everywhere right now. Is it just, is it like I am kind of inclined to view it really cynically, where it's just this like get rich quick scheme
Right.
that its proponents can throw out and like scam people with. But is there anything more to it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think, and I've talked about this before, and I think it's been sort of undercovered in a lot of ways. And it's not even simply, um, you know, it's not just about the cryptocurrency space either. Like, I think something happened over the past decade or so, more than that, probably the past 20 some odd, 30 some odd years, where the idea of getting rich quick over actually like creating something of value has superseded everything. Like you see it in every single space. Think about entertainment with like TV. What became big TV in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, and it's still big. Reality TV shows following people who got rich without any real talent or anything over actual well-written drama that requires talented writers, talented directors, talented actors. Think about music. And this isn't a knock on any specific genre because this has been all genres. We moved from like the political or even like cultural critiques of punk or hip hop that you saw from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s to like just like, throwing beats out there and talking about how successful you are or, how to get girls.
And it feels like the movies nominated for Oscars are usually like the 20 movies that were about something with actors, right? Right. Like it almost feels. It used to be like I'm dating myself here, but in the late '90s and things like that, we had like you would be like, oh well, there's two World War II dramas nominated this year, Saving Private Ryan and The Thin Red Line was at '98 or something like that, and it's like. There was just always like it's like what will get nominated and what will get neglected and become a forgotten thing that people lift up as a cult thing. That the language around movies has completely changed. And to your point,
right? And I bring up the cultural issues not because they're the most important. I'll get to the more serious stuff, but obviously this instills in people's minds like what they should view as important or priority or what is it instills what is a successful life to them. And look at the rise of the gig economy over the past decade or two. No longer is it like you work, you create a camaraderie with your coworkers. Maybe you have a union, maybe you don't, but anyway, like there is that camaraderie there. You're a team, you're working together, and then you clock in, you make a salary or hourly, whatever it is, but then you clock out.
You actually produce something.
Yeah, you actually produce something. But then like you look at the gig, and I don't want to knock gig economy workers because they just do what they got to do, but there has been the gig economy has instilled this idea of you always got to be hustling. You always got to make money. Everything that you do requires some sort of financial incentive. There's no such thing as a hobby. How can you monetize it? How can you sell it? And then you extrapolate that down the line. And like I remember, I became a tech reporter because I got really into like the early startup scene. I currently write for I'm a reporter at Mashable as my full-time day job. But like I was sending them like tips back in like the like late 2000s, early 2010s, like during like the tech startup boom where all these social networks were new. MySpace was like just becoming the big thing. And like I remember then it was like, oh, it was all about creating like a service that like people used, a platform that like connected people. That was the big thing. But now you look at that scene, that like tech startup scene, and it's literally just like people aren't proudly showcasing something cool they built. They're proudly showcasing how much monthly recurring revenue they're making every month. Like that is the tell for how successful they are. Not that they built something with meaning, but how much they're getting paid each month and how much of it is passive income too. That's been a huge thing too. Passive income.
Yeah.
It's all about the passive income now. How much money can you make while doing little to nothing?
Right. So what I'm kind of hearing from you, and I pull this out, and you can correct me if this is not, it seems like, symbolically we can see the total unraveling of contemporary capitalism in these meme coins. In a way, it's sort of like this is, it's in the way that things, when somebody gets more progressively worse or something, and it's like, the slippery slope on drugs or whatever. This is really, really far along the lines. This is like a real serious kind of endpoint for where we've been heading in terms of capitalism.
Absolutely.
Well, it's going to the casino with your financial future.
Yes.
Yeah, and like for the people who don't invest, I mean, if somebody has a spare $1,000 and throws it into this, I'm not gonna like tell anyone how to spend their money. But for a lot of people, I just remember one of the responses to the Tuah coin that like got passed around a lot was this guy replying to Haley Welch, that's her name, I think.
Yes.
Being like, how could you do this? I was going to send my kids to college with Tuah coin. As a Tuah fan, I still find value. Please respond. That is bleak to me.
Yeah.
And it's like my hope of sending my child to college is a meme coin based on a meme about sucking dick. Which, sorry to be crude about it, I guess.
Well, she did throw out the first pitch at Citi Field once, so as Mets fans, we have to kind of defend her a little bit. But I mean, it is
respect where it's due. Yeah.
She made a blowjob joke on TikTok or something like that, right? Was it TikTok is where it was published? Somebody interviewed her.
It's
why TikTok's getting banned now.
One of those street interviewers, that look for viral moments. They found her. She dropped her now infamous catchphrase, which is like her.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Matt. What did she say, Matt?
Tuah, spit on that thing or something like that.
Thank you, Matt. That's vital information for our listeners.
But that's how she got famous. Like, again, like you want to talk about like the what we put on that like pedestal of, oh, that's something to aspire to. This is a person who got rich and famous off of a catchphrase about blowjobs. And I mean, listen, power to her. I'm not gonna, anyone who finds whatever they need to do to make it in this world, I'm not gonna knock them. But then she took it that step too far and got involved with cryptocurrency, specifically a meme coin bearing her identity. It was called Tuah, based on her catchphrase, Tuah coin. And she sold her likeness. She promoted it. She was involved with it. She's since come out. Well, for people who don't know, basically, meme coins are a cryptocurrency that is based on a meme. Wow, real shocking there.
Whoa.
But the interesting thing here for meme coins, when compared to something like, I guess, like a Bitcoin or Ethereum, is that anyone can create these very easily. In fact, there are platforms where you literally can make one in like a minute or two and have it on the on the market being bought and traded right away. And the thing here is a lot of these legitimate, or I should say, cryptocurrencies that attempt to be legitimate, they often attach a utility to their token. Like, if you invest in this specific crypto, they're building a whole platform where you can use this crypto to get rewarded. Some of the examples have tried to like add like a gamification model to it, like it's going to be the currency in a very popular game that we're building, and just trust us, it's going to be very popular, of course. But they tried to add this utility that there's a reason to buy this token.
So can I make like a Hunter Biden coin when we get off this podcast? Because I think I got a solution.
There's no way that doesn't exist already.
No, but you don't. That's the thing. It doesn't even need to be.
Jared, I'll let you get in on the ground floor.
They don't even need.
Okay, I retract my prior statement.
They don't even need to be unique though. Like that's the thing. That's like one of the wonders of this scam going on. There are like 1,000 different Trump meme coins, all with the ticker name Trump. You have to actually have the I guess the best way to explain it is like the actual like address to the specific token on the blockchain for you to find the right one. Like if you were to just go to any sort of crypto trading platform right now and type in Trump, unless it's one that like Coinbase that specifically like picks and chooses which ones to put on their platform. There are platforms though where like there are exchanges where you can literally just every coin in existence is on there. So if you type in Trump there, you got to figure out which is the real Trump coin if you want to invest, because there's a bunch of scam ones, or I should say specify unofficial scam ones as opposed to the official scam one. But yeah, I mean, so she had a meme coin. From what I understand, she was approached by a crypto company to basically, attach her likeness to it. She was not, this might shock you, but she was not involved in the creation of the meme coin. She had nothing to do with that, according to her and her people. She simply got paid to use her likeness and her catchphrase and for her to promote it, like become the spokesperson for it.
I need to interject one thing real quick and then right back to that, which is the Hawk Tuah girl has people.
Oh, she does. Yeah.
You said the Hawk Tuah girl's people. Yeah, I don't want any more comment on that. I just need to isolate that. Continue, please.
When I wrote about it, her people came at me with a statement ASAP. I'll get into that more in a second. But so the meme coin launched, and like a lot of meme coins do, they pump and then they dump. Like meme coins are, I was explaining this on my on the return episode of Scam Economy that I was recording just this week. Basically, meme coins are to me just a straight up pump and dump scam, whereas like the other like a meme coin aspires to become a cryptocurrency that ascends to like the MLM or Ponzi scheme level, where they can keep this going for a long time. Whereas meme coins are just straight up pump and dumps. Like if you're going to invest in a meme coin, you got to be monitoring that by the minute, because that thing can dump a minute after it launches, 10 minutes after it launches, an hour or two after it launches. You just don't know, because what ends up happening is the people who create the meme coin often basically give themselves a nice little chunk of the meme coin that's created. Like the total, like they create a total of, let's say, like 100 million of these meme coins, and then they keep maybe like 10 to 50 million for themselves, and then they put the rest on the market. So everyone sees this go out there, they buy into it, which grows the liquidity pool. And then when it hits a certain amount that the holders, which again is the meme coin creator, or even sometimes insiders, their friends that they gave some of the tokens to, or they gave a heads up to buy in at the lowest possible price. When they think it's hit the peak, they'll just sell off all their tokens, tanking the entire market. Because, if you have 10 million out of 100 million tokens, but your 10 million tokens were obtained without any cost to you, like you put no money into that pool, but then a bunch of people came and bought 10 million, you sell off your 10 million and you just basically are taking everyone's money because there's nothing left, because you didn't put anything in there. You're just extracting everyone else's money for yourself.
So essentially, it's literal money for nothing then, in the sense of like, oh, I mean, the amount of work to do it. I mean, that's talk about passive income. I mean, it's not. I mean, pump and dump is a little different than passive income, but it's a very passive approach to making money for sure. You create the coin that takes all of a day or less, and other people put their money in it, and then you yank it when you feel like you've got enough.
And now we have a person working with the White House, specifically David Sachs, to make sure that all the people who are doing these sort of things are feeling good about the government.
Right.
And that the government is doing what it can. It's not clear to me to participate, to encourage it. I mean, you had some pretty notable Trump world figures talking at the crypto ball before the inauguration, which also had Snoop Dogg, who will take money to put his name on anything. I heard that Soulja Boy was there for reasons that I don't fully understand. I mean, these are not like Soulja Boy fans, but anyway.
Has Soulja Boy made an album in any recent, like,
No. I mean, he puts out like songs, but not like an actual artistic.
So, to be clear, we're not talking about MF Doom here. This is Snoop Dogg and
yeah.
These are not exactly like the more complex rappers.
These are rappers who are like, check out my new song with Jelly Roll. It has AI on it, probably. No, but it has this industry both in the spotlight and also pretty excited. When Trump was swearing in, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of $109,000 per coin. I did buy it many years ago at $60,000 a coin, sold it, lost a little bit of money. I thankfully did not put that much money into it. Now I'm kind of wishing I hadn't, but beside the point, the industry is really, really digging their new executive order signer president guy. And the White House is trying to kind of pull the same move with AI. What's going on, Matt? I mean, eventually this bubble has to pop, right? Or does it? And if it does pop, what happens to Trump, like the elements of Trump world that have hitched their own wagons to it?
Right. I mean, I can't tell you when it will pop, but it will pop. Yeah, like there's nothing there. Like how I mentioned earlier about how, like, there's not a product or service behind this. There's not like people are buying something, they're getting the product or the service they paid for, and they're content. Money well spent, or maybe they weren't happy with it, but they know not to buy that product or service anymore. Maybe they lost, $50 or something on that purchase. They could probably get a refund if they really wanted to. This is different though. This is when we specifically talk about cryptocurrency here. You're expecting a return on your investment if you're buying into crypto. Or if you're one of the few people who realize that this is just straight up gambling, maybe you're not expecting it, but you're losing money. Like there's only so many fish in the well here. Like there are only so many times they could come back to these same individuals to bring in an influx of cash to the industry. Like that's why it is so important for the crypto industry to mainstream itself. That's why they so badly want to force themselves into every aspect of whatever you already do when taking part in like the marketplace of whatever industry we're talking about. They want new people to come on board to crypto because without that, they will eventually run out of money from the suckers. There's only so much money these suckers have. And they're running out of it because they're all getting rug pulled by the people who are on the inside.
I think also even with the bigger coins, even like Bitcoin and things like that, there will be people who got in at a certain time who will stand back and say, "Hey, like I got to take most of this out. I'm okay. I've got my money." And then what? When people start to do that, and they usually make those moves when they start to get worried about things dropping, which happens from time to time. So I think, I mean, it seems very precarious.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you look at what's going on right now, like Bitcoin had this big spike after Donald Trump gets elected. It hits 100K, six figures for the first time. And it's been even going higher than that at different times. It ebbs and flows. It's pretty much been around the, 90,000 to 110,000 range, which is a lot. It's crazy if you got in early and you didn't get your Bitcoin stolen. Like everyone got their Bitcoin stolen back before there were exchanges to actually secure your Bitcoin on. Or if you didn't sell when it hit like 10 or 20,000, because holy shit, when it hit 10 or 20,000, you thought this couldn't get any higher than this. This is crazy. But if you're looking at it like that, you I guess I should say if you're looking at it like that, of course, I guess you missed out, but no one held on like that, or very few people held on like that. Remember, there's a guy who early on to showcase, because let's not forget, Bitcoin was supposed to originally replace the US dollar. It wasn't supposed to be a speculation machine. It wasn't supposed to be something you invested in so that you gained more money. It was supposed to just be what you used to buy and sell. It was going to be the currency to trade on. That's what they wanted. That was the original idea behind it. And there's a guy who used his Bitcoin to buy a pizza from Papa John's early on. And the way he did it was like he paid someone who exchanged it for him and got the pizza or whatever. But the point is, he used Bitcoin to buy a pizza, and that Bitcoin now, if he had just kept it and didn't buy that pizza, would have been worth like $100-something million. It's the Bitcoin has completely left the original idea behind in lieu of this idea of make it money very quickly as fast as you can through these cryptocurrency pump and dumps and investments. But like I was saying before with after the election, so Bitcoin spikes, but Bitcoin wasn't really spiking because new people were buying in. It was the people who already had invested thinking, oh, this is a new golden age for us. Whatever light little handcuffs, so you can't even call them handcuffs. What are they? More like whatever Chinese finger trap the Biden administration put on the crypto industry, barely anything, but still better than nothing, was going to be taken away. And so they were investing thinking there's going to be this new crypto boom. And so far, it's probably worked in their favor because, Trump has said he would, not go after crypto. In fact, he would support crypto. And like Jared mentioned, he got himself a crypto and AI czar in David Sachs, a tech entrepreneur who is part of the Elon Musk pack of people.
Yeah, I was about to say, who do you think made that suggestion to him?
Yeah, David Sachs is a friend of Musk, and I should mention that David Sachs is also a fellow South African. Something's in the water over there, man. We gotta cut ties with South Africa. I don't know what's going on, but
I believe it begins with the word R, and I'll leave it at that.
Right. Or A, you mean? But yeah,
I meant racism.
Oh well,
the ones that they've shopped over here.
I was thinking of the word that begins with A, but the opening.
Oh yeah, okay.
Pronunciation is R.
All good.
Sort of. More like ah.
Well, with these particular guys, as you know, I do not want to besmirch any kind of lovely South African people who are over here and might be listening.
Right, of course.
All five of them.
But so I guess you could fast forward then to the inauguration weekend, right? Where Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated on January 20th, and that weekend before that Monday, there are all these events for him all these different inauguration events held by different right-wing influencers or organizations or outlets. And the very first one on Friday night was this crypto ball, like you guys were talking about. But what's funny here is that like apparently no one at the crypto ball knew this was going to happen. Because even then, I guess it really shows that when it comes to who Trump considers his insiders to be, it's not his allies. Like he don't even care about the cryptocurrency people who aren't like in his inner circle. Because that night, that Friday, January 17th, he just randomly drops the Trump meme coin. He's very careful in his post to just say you're buying memes, have fun. Basically, his way of saying this is not financial advice. This is not an investment. This is not even an asset in the way a stock is. Just you're buying garbage. He basically said you're buying a meme.
Yeah.
Have fun.
This is a guy who has also sold, golden tennis shoes. And me as a guitar player, the MAGA guitar was really interesting to me.
It's not even his first crypto project. It was just his first meme coin. But he has another crypto project like World.
He has
Finance,
the trading cards,
something.
right?
And then he had the NFT collectible, which they just call digital collectibles because even they were like, ugh, no one wants to attach themselves to this NFT name anymore.
Well, of course, the Trump University guy, which was created before this was a thing, would be all over this, right? I mean, Trump has been doing the equivalent of meme coins his whole life, essentially, right? He's got his family money and he's doing his real estate thing. He's going bankrupt all the time, and all through is doing the equivalent of meme coins using his celebrity, which we would work with the New York guy, work the local New York tabloids, right? Daily News, New York Post, everything. So it's not surprising at all. This fits right into his whole raison d'etre.
Right. So Trump drops that meme coin, and it does very well for a meme coin. Probably the most successful meme coin launch I've ever seen. I would say probably the industry has ever seen. It went from change like nickels and dimes to at its peak somewhere around $75. If you got in early, you potentially became very rich. You potentially became a millionaire off of maybe a couple $1,000 if you bought in very early and held on to like even the end of that night before it even hit, $50. And that's the thing though, like you had to know about it to get in that early. And who knew about it? Not even the people at the crypto ball. They were asked there, did you see what happened? They're like, oh, I had no idea what you're talking about. What? They had never even heard of it. Now, you'll see the reports that Trump became a billionaire off this endeavor, and that may be true, but it's not completely accurate right now because he can't actually touch those funds that are locked away in the wallets that are connected to him. There's this thing that certain crypto projects do to try to help legitimize themselves in the eyes of other cryptocurrency investors. Some of them do this thing where they burn tokens, basically just literally like erase tokens from the pool that helps bump up everybody else's holdings value. Another thing, and this is what Trump has done here, or his people, I should say, at least, because Trump already made it clear in an interview that he has no idea how the fuck any of this works. He has his holdings locked away for a certain period of time, and up to 3 years, I believe it is. And as different time limits pass, some of his holdings will unlock for him to be able to sell. But by doing this, it shows that, hey, look, the major holder of this token can't rug pull you, can't do that thing where immediately as they see the value rise, they sell it all off to just basically take all the money you guys put into it. And it was successful for him to do that because in addition to his stature of, his fans loving him and investing into it, it made them feel like this is legit and probably helped pump it up to $75. So but with that said, though, there's also nothing stopping Trump from having multiple secondary wallets that had money in it that just they could have even just bought it early on and made bank. I'm sure his family and friends were told about this early, and they put money into it very early, where they turned thousands into millions. Yeah, and that's sort of what happened that weekend. Oh, can't forget Melania coin. So,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's where my money
so
is.
the word is that the Trump world was even surprised by how successful the Trump meme coin was, and they probably felt like they could have made a lot more money out of it if they knew how successful it was gonna be. So, from what I've seen, they came up with this idea to quickly launch Melania, a meme coin for his wife. And they, I guess, overestimated the popularity of Melania because that token did not do as well. In fact, that token hurt the value of the Trump meme coin because people probably got worried that Melania was going to, siphon off some investors. So they sold to get out before they saw a drop in Trump, and that's actually what happened. The Trump meme coin has never reached back at that peak of 75 or anywhere close. It's been hovering around like $20.
I like to get one of each coin the same way a kid might with a Barbie and Ken doll and make them kiss. That's that's the value. They say there's no real value in it, but that's value.
Well, that's the value to you, yeah.
Well, I was going to say
you're the guy
one
buying
last thing about Melania
for the product.
I do want to say one thing about Melania.
Only one. Only
thing
one.
about Melania,
you get one.
Which is what my dad said. And my dad is like, my dad is turning 79, and there's what I was saying in overestimating Melania's appeal, because if you only are subjected to like MAGA X or MAGA Twitter, whatever it would be, you would think that Melania is the most beloved figure in the entire world. But my dad like summed up for the casual person who is not like very political. He referred to her. He sees her come out and he goes, "She's like a mannequin," which I thought was great because it's really, it was like, it hit home to me. It's like, yeah, it's true. They don't let her speak. They don't really let her do anything. And all the people who seem like Melania fans are imbuing their own. It's not they don't allow her to be a complex figure, right? She's not like complex like a Michelle Obama or something like that, who is speaking and has her own ideas that are separate from her husband. Melania is not even allowed to have, it seems, any thoughts. They don't let her say anything.
And when they appear together, it's like they don't even like talk to each other.
Yeah, so her fans are people who seem like they're like, I like the doll, because that's what they're presenting. It seems like you never hear what's really on Melania's mind.
Right. Yeah, that's she you could just basically look at her and project whatever you'd like on her, honestly.
So, winding it back to David Sachs, the crypto and AI czar. I feel like crypto and AI are often kind of said in the same sentence, and of course, in this like job title that Sachs has, they are clumped together. Do you think there are parallels there? Because AI is like, that's the one that all the like capital S serious people are invested in. There's hundreds of billions of dollars in this. Even Biden, signed off for a shit ton of money to build like special infrastructure just so that we have better chatbot girlfriends. But no, that's the one that like there's like bipartisan support because AI is the future, but it's like talked about in the same breath as crypto, which I think by now pretty much like any honest person is like, oh yeah, it's gambling. This is gambling. Like I don't know these people are kind of weird, and you might make some money, maybe, but probably not. Like, have fun if you want. So it's weird to see that like side by side. And when I hear people talk about the crypto industry, like listening to you describe just kind of how these communities work or like how this hype gets built, it like resonates in my head in the same way that I think about AI. But you know a whole lot more than I do, and I'm curious if you see any parallels between the rug pullers and the people that are buying all of our precious NVIDIA graphics cards and processors that should be used for gaming.
Right. So unlike crypto, AI does have some use cases, but it's nowhere near what these these AI companies and their founders and investors are claiming. They're just these models that are taught to, or I should say, trained to sound conversational. Quite frankly, that's really what most of this is. They're not like, I think a lot of people, they think of AI and they think of like what artificial intelligence is in like the movies, where you have these like robots who can think and feel, and
this is just like a well-dressed sock puppet.
Yes, it's a well-dressed sock puppet. Exactly. In fact,
it's like it's Google search wearing like a really interesting
yes,
hat.
no, for real. That's a great way to put it. But it could talk nice. It's got it's a slick talking Google search wearing a top hat and a monocle. Yes.
And every time it answers you, an acre of Amazonian rainforest burns to the ground.
Yes. Also a lot of what people attribute to AI, and when I mean a lot of people, I mean the AI companies that really want you to think this is some sort of like new, amazing, incredible technology, is a lot of this is just like things that have already existed that just been given the like we're talking about, been disguised as AI. A lot of what we're seeing is really just like automation, or specific algorithms, things that have existed in technology already.
What if a calculator costs $5 every time you hit the equals
right
button?
Like that's basically like, think about like how a lot of these like AI writing programs are like, oh, you can have your AI chatbot do real-time grammatical punctuation checks and spelling checks. And it's like, yeah, I've had that in word processor for the past like 40 years. What are you talking about?
Just for the record, Mike Hayden uses no AI to help him write ever, would never do it. I'd die first. And you know that for a fact, because the most recent time I posted on Blue Sky, there were like 4 unnecessary spaces in it randomly, like a the, and then the next word was on another line. So that's me doing that and nobody else.
Right. Yeah, I don't use AI for any sort of thing like that as well. I don't use AI at all, really. I other than like testing stuff out for my reporting.
Have you ever tried have you ever tried a romantic chatbot?
No, I've actually not done that because I'm a normal person. I mean, I honestly,
I've done it. I wanted to see what it was. I was curious, so I tried it, and
he's still trying it, listeners. Right
really
now,
bizarre.
I can see the phone in his hand. He's still trying it.
Like, I've tried chatbots. No. I haven't tried like any of the ones specifically for relationships or sex or companionship. Because honestly, like, the idea of that, and I'm not knocking you for trying it. Obviously, you tried it for the same reason I tried the other ones.
I tried to experiment with it the same way I bought crypto. I just want to see what people are doing. And it's like, I'm a bad candidate for this.
We all experimented in college. You tried to experiment with it like that too, right?
I'll just like type in like the personality and make the like, what your woman should be. And it'd be like overbearing, shouting at me, mad about things I don't fully understand. Right. Like, I'm not a good candidate for this. The point is that like when I did try it, like I realized the basic gist of this, which is like, you put in what you say, like where you'd be like, I love boats. And then she's like, oh my God, I love boats. I love boats. Boats are great, right? Like that, all it does is just take the information that you do and reaffirm what they believe, what the program thinks to be your desire. And if you've ever seen the movie Her, the Spike Jonze film Her, which is why I was so curious about it. It's a really interesting film that has great moments. Like there's these great shots of everybody's like on their devices, like while they're walking in this world, while he's, communicating with his thing. It's very dystopian. And then there are other things that didn't work for me as well. But the bot in it, the Scarlett Johansson bot, is one thing. But the live person at the beginning, he's in a random chat woman with another woman who wants to masturbate with him, and it's played by Kristen Wiig. Is that her name? Kristen or Kirsten? Anyway, it doesn't matter. And she's like, she wants to get off, and she starts saying like, "Oh yeah, strangle me with a dead cat," which doesn't make any sense because I don't know anybody who would get into a chat and want to say that. But it's backwards. The dead cat is actually what people are getting. People are getting a bot that will tell you, it will just randomly shout out, choke me with a dead cat because it thinks that that's what you want to see. Whereas the Scarlett Johansson version, that complexity, and it was 2013. It looks like it's in the near future, right? What we're actually getting is the dead cat, and not a complex, rich person who can actually keep you any kind of company. You are just speaking to someone who tells you what you want to hear.
But at the same time, this is working on some people. There's been recent stories. The New York Times ran a big one about this young woman who goes by the name Erin, who was using ChatGPT and was using it in a way to get romantic satisfaction or sexual satisfaction, getting some kind of like fulfillment out of it, and was telling the newspaper that she was in love with it. And then, there are also darker stories that have come out in the last year. Teenagers in the Atlantic, there was a piece about a 15-year-old autistic kid who fell in love with his chatbot and is just like really, really into it. And, you read through the piece and it's like all the people in this kid's life kind of have no idea what to do with it because the kid's developed genuine feelings for it. And what is it going to do to this kid if they rip it away from him? Is it really hurting him? Those are the kind of questions that they're debating.
That's a good point about the autism, because there are totally different people using these chat apps. There are people who are very grounded and have a different kind of, like, a lot of stability and whatever. And then you have people who may have like a personality that makes them vulnerable to believing in what they're seeing.
And then you have like the most extreme case that I saw was there was a teenager, I think he was in Florida, fell in love with a Game of Thrones themed chatbot. And eventually this kid committed suicide to be with the chatbot. The last message, according to the lawsuit that his family has filed against the company that made this chatbot, said, "I promise I will come home to you. I love you so much." Like he and then moments later killed himself. So I get what you're saying, Mike. Like, to a stable, like firmly rooted person, that kind of stuff, like an AI chatbot that you're speaking to erotically or romantically, maybe it's like a toy,
or even as a friend,
right? It's a toy. It's like,
it's a toy. Well, I wanted to just I want to interject one thing that I think is really important to put here, which is I can see utility in this. Maybe not for me, but for some people, like for example, if I'm like if I'm a person who is having same-sex attraction and living in some place in Oklahoma where it's a town where I don't feel comfortable coming out, maybe it's a good place to actually kind of to explore those feelings. Maybe an ethical version of this. Maybe there's things where that's the case. Maybe somebody went through a painful, somebody lost a loved one or whatever, and are not looking for a sexual thing, but looking for just to get their feelings out, and they can't get to a therapist and whatever. I don't recommend using an AI chatbot as your therapist or your psychoanalyst.
No.
There are AI chatbots that are marketing themselves as that. I've seen it. It's
Oh yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like, you can't trust the industry to actually like do something ethical. Like, oh, let's create something that actually helps people. Like, no, it's all about exploiting them. Like, that's the dangers of all this. There's going to be and the thing is, of course, like I said, like it's not that the chatbot is so realistic. It's that people have been told what it is in a way that it is not. So they're treating it like something that it doesn't have the capacity to provide. Um, like you mentioned, like someone, like you tested out, or someone was testing it out, and you said like, I like this, and they were like, I also like this. I mean,
that was my experience when I tested it out.
Right.
It was like that.
I mean, that's sort of all AI chatbots. Their point is to give the user exactly what they're looking for, what they want. I mean, in a way that like just makes the user happy. Like, I've seen it time and time again, even just like someone asking for information, like, oh, give me this historical fact. And the chatbot will say, here is the historical fact. And let's say in this example, the chatbot's correct. This is the historical fact. It is true. The user just has to say, no, that historical fact is not true. And the chatbot will be like, oh, I was unaware of that. Like,
It'll give you another answer. It'll give you another answer. Yeah.
Well, they'll do that. Well, you have an AI chatbot. Is you're a Nazi and you want a virtual Nazi girlfriend, and she's like, the Holocaust happened. And you're like, no, let me correct you. Right? That's terrifying.
Right. But that's what it is. Like, that's the limitation of it here. Like, that's why it's not like the AI people think it is. And I think that's why a lot of our elderly octogenarian politicians and lawmakers in power are handing over all these opportunities and money and funding and lack of regulation, with the belief that these companies are creating some sort of innovative technology that's going to change the world. I mean, yeah, it's going to change the world, but not through its innovation that's going to, help people. And like, no, it's going to change the world because they're fucking fooling you all into thinking this is what it is, and you're giving them immense money and immense power. And that's how they're going to change the world. Like, just think about like what they're creating with like the technology they do have. Like, let's say you wanted to actually like have an AI handle something for you. Why wouldn't you want it to like do something that's like repetitive? Like a basic necessity that like doesn't really help you with your job or work or even like your output of like creativity or hobby, just something like, where's the AI to like do your laundry? No, they're not creating that. They're creating the AI that creates photographs and fake images and fake videos. That's the thing that people want to do.
Fake people.
Yeah.
I think one other thing I want to interject here, which is like a thought that's always been on my mind, whenever, like I said, when I'm looking into AI and stuff, and I've been pretty fascinated with the idea for a long time, partly because of movies. I love science fiction, and I wanted to see where is it going and what's happening. But what's, the core of what's happening, and the reason why it doesn't actually serve people in that way, is because the tech industry is separating us on a daily basis with their algorithms and creating isolation among people and making it harder for people to get together in ways that may not be conscious, but it serves their profit margins, right? So they're creating the need to talk to a machine through their actions, and now they're selling the product to you to end it, and it's really further isolation of people if more people wind up having conversations with AI, which are not even really AI, as you pointed out. If they're doing that rather than actually getting together and having a few drinks and meeting somebody that is cool.
I think maybe the common theme through all of this is like, if you know the way to think about this technology, or the way, and this is even true broadly with social media as it changes the way that it is changing. If you know how to think about it and you have your feet kind of level on the ground, and you're not dependent on it, there's potentially use cases there. They're like, I'm not in the business of telling anybody what to do with their life or what to do with their time. But the people who do get lost on it, or the people that end up really hurt by it, are really, really hurt by it, or put in a really bad spot because of it, which I think is why you have to regulate. A minority of people who drive their car to work every day get in a catastrophic crash. But we still have seatbelt laws because of that minority of people that get in a catastrophic crash every day. That little tiny step or that guardrail can like prevent disaster or prevent like the worst possible outcomes, or at least lessen the likelihood significantly. We need crypto seatbelts. Belt coin.
We have seatbelt laws
belt coin,
for now.
Belt coin.
For now. So check in next week. Check in next week in the 2025 show.
You can connect the seatbelt to the cloud and then invest in your seatbelt.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to put it. We need seatbelts for tech as a whole, but any chance to do that, it's been those seatbelts have been ripped out, so you don't even have the choice right now of using that seatbelt. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot going on in both crypto and AI right now, and I didn't even mention that when Trump launched his meme coin, by the way, I forgot to mention that a lot of these crypto guys who had voted for him, they got pissed because he basically, in their opinion, made a mockery of the market, which I don't know what these guys knew about Donald Trump before casting their vote in November of 2024. But the idea that Donald Trump wouldn't have done something like this and being truly shocked by it is baffling to me. But you had some of these guys saying, like, I regretted voting for him after he launched a meme coin. The racism and sexism and transphobia and overall bigotry, that wasn't the turnoff. It was
they went, come on, man, no one's gonna take my blowjob coin seriously after this shit.
Right. Well, funny thing was, like, for that, like, a lot of people removed their money from the blowjob coins and put it into the Trump meme coin when it launched, and it tanked the rest of the market because everyone was pulling out of the other meme coins. So that's partially also why they were pissed too, because Donald Trump was messing up their own money-making scheme.
Matt Binder, thanks for coming on the show this week. Where can people invest in Binder coin?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of places. For one, you can find me at basically any social media platform, Blue Sky, Threads, X, the Everything app, formerly known as Twitter.
Everything app.
At Matt Binder, or just search Matt Binder. I'm on YouTube, where I stream regularly at youtube.com /Matt Binder, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Matt Binder. You can find the podcast version of both my shows at scameconomy.com and then doomedcast.com. And my newsletter, which I will be launching officially launching. There are some pieces up on it now, which I'll be officially launching very, 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 very soon. But you could subscribe right now to get all those emails and reports and pieces right to your email address at disruptionist.com.
Man, that's a lot of stuff.
I love that name.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't really ever buy stocks, man. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. Chew 'em up like bubble gum. Just made a meal with my pocket change. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Ethereum pays for my rent. Bitcoin pays for the vent. Litecoin pays for the jet. Bitcoin cash for the rest. Spent 30 racks on an ICO. What coin did you buy? I forgot, yo. Just got started last night.